Surprisingly, yes. This film is better than I expected. Color even me surprised. Laughing and having a good time with a Minions movie in 2026 as an adult man was not on my bingo card. So before we really get into it, I want to tell you my history with the Minions and kind of where my mind's at with it. So way back in the day, this is probably back when they first came out, I watched Despicable Me 1 and Despicable Me 2, and that was pretty much my extent of the Minions. Like, I never watched Despicable Me 3, I never watched the first couple of Minions movies. It just seemed like something that wasn't really for me. So I just essentially disregarded them. To me, Minions have always sort of been interchangeable with the Rabbids from the Rayman series. I played one of the Rayman Raving Rabbids games for the Wii way back in the day. I remember having a great time with that. But characteristically, they have a lot in common with the Minions. I think, on one hand you have Rabbids, on one hand you have Minions. They both say a bunch of nonsensical things. They're both just seem to me a little bit aimed toward a much younger audience. So that being the case, I was essentially on the verge of writing this movie off as well, thinking that it was just for that younger audience. I was really shocked at how much that I liked it. I had a good time with it. Something else I wanted to point out too, this film is stacked with like a pretty sizable cast. You've got Jeff Bridges, you've got Jesse Eisenberg, you've got Christoph Waltz. This is a pretty stacked cast, honestly, even for a kids movie. So this film follows our minions. They're on a quest to have a new master, some evil personality that they can follow and do all their bidding for. Essentially, like around the first third of the movie, maybe trying to get a new evil person that they could follow. And then towards about the middle portion of the film, it transitions into a almost like a different-esque film where the minions are essentially trying to make a movie. And of course, a whole bunch of chaos ensues with that. Like I said, I had a good time with it. It wasn't as lowbrow as what I thought it was going to be. Usually, like I said, when I think of minions, I think of a bunch of fart jokes. I think of little nonsensical creatures that say banana a lot, that essentially I feel is targeted toward a much younger audience. Don't get me wrong, some of that stuff is still present here, but this story overall is structured in a way that I feel like it's for a little bit of an older audience. We're talking still under the age of 10. It's not necessarily as dumbed down as what I thought it was going to be. Make no mistake though, this film definitely, at least from what I picked up, this film is definitely still aimed toward that younger audience. I don't think this film is going to necessarily entertain parents. I think this is something that they turn on and essentially dismiss or just let their kids watch by themselves. That's another thing. This film has the misfortune of being in theaters at the same time as Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5 comparatively being the better film here, because I would categorize that film as being aimed toward just families overall. Like it's for parents, it's for children. The whole family can be entertained with it. This film, not so much. I laughed a few times at it. I'm gonna be honest here. There's a few moments that got me. One of my questions I like to do with these reviews is ask myself, was the film fun? And to that I would say yes. Definitely if you have children or anybody in your family that is of a younger age, definitely I could see them enjoying this film. Parents, maybe not so much. Our last question, do I recommend the film? And to that I would say yes. Again, if you have younger family members or children, I definitely recommend. I think this will keep them entertained. I sort of hate that this film came out with Toy Story 5 because, like I said, I think Toy Story 5 is going to overshadow this movie. When I went to see this movie, I was the only person in the auditorium for this film. So it's literally just me in an auditorium of just nothing and minions. And I'm not sure if that's conclusive on how the film's going to do. I do think to some degree, Toy Story 5 is going to overshadow this film. I think this is another one that does depend. Like I said, I had a good time with it. I don't have a lot of experience or prior knowledge to the Minions. I think that they're just manufactured for some lowbrow comedy. Like I said, I thought it was going to be essentially a bunch of fart and banana jokes here, but that's surprisingly not what we got. This film is relatively well structured. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end plot. There's not just a string of scenes that just happen just for the sake of happening. Like I said, I think this was going to depend personally. I had a good time with it. I think kids will definitely have a good time with it. I recommend the film if you have children. Thank y'all for sticking with me.